Open
What's
it
going
up.
on?
I already opened it, but
I did too. We're in, we're live. I'll get to this later, the regular glass. What's going on,
we sound
everyone?
lively right now.
Yeah, we sound lively, dude. We're in the new studio. I've moved. We're in. I'm in New Jersey now, moved for a job, no longer in the MD, but still rocking the SU swag. What's going on, everyone? It's another episode of Cold Ones Conversations. I go by many names: Hollywood Hair, Big Har, Harry Heaps, what's on the birth certificate. I am one half of this dynamic duo that is Cold One Conversations, the best sports show on the planet, bringing you everything to date. And I am joined by my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the supporter of Loser Town, Brandon, the bod, Petrilli. The bod, let's break down part one of this show, and it's labeled The Eagles' Demise. And let me set the stage. You take
Yeah,
it.
relax.
The Eags are on their way up. They're on their way up. The Ravens are on their way up, having a few hiccups early in the season, but damn, are we smelling playoff, deep playoff runs, and maybe even a bird v. bird Super Bowl championship bout in Vegas. And then you hit 10-1. Sky's the limit. Nothing can be stopped. And then all of a sudden, those gas cans, they start wearing out. All of a sudden, those engine failure, come in, mayday, 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 engine failure. And it ends with going to Tampa Bay with number 6, the gunslinger, who's no taller than 5'8", stomping all over the Eagles. Jason Kelsey hangs it up. Defensive guys, these old guys aging out, they don't get another shot, another opportunity, as Eminem once said. Detroit, they won. Um, what's the layout in the city of Philadelphia for the Green Eagle?
Yeah, everybody's down bad. Down bad for sure. People are panicking. They want everybody gone. Hmm. It was bad. It was bad. You try to talk yourself into it. Oh my God, I'm choking right now
You
too,
good
just
there,
like this
dog?
team. Yeah. You try talking yourself into like you have all the talent, you have all the experience, the veterans, the leadership that you thought was there, that they could turn it around for sure. That they could really, how to win. We did it last year. We've done it for the past 2 decades now as a culture, as a franchise. Being one of the top two winningest franchise in the past 20 years, but it is what it is. But when it comes down to it, they just fell apart. They choked, and that's my biggest thing is you talk about those old guys that are aging out now, right? And a lot of people go, "Oh, I feel bad for them." I don't. I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel bad for Kelsey. I don't feel bad for Cox, Brandon Graham. I love those guys. They gave me the best moments of my life winning a Super Bowl. Some of the greatest seasons ever as a Philly sports fan came and moments came from those guys. But this year they did not do it. They did not live up to it. They did not perform to where they are. Now it's older. They're older guys. It's tough to do that. A lot of it can be on coaching, but when it comes down to it, the players are out there have to do it. They could control games. Fletcher Cox could control a game if he wanted to. Brandon Graham, Jason
Yeah.
Kelsey could try to, hey, tell the coaches, we got to do this, we got to do that. Nobody was grabbing these young guys in the face and say, wake the F up. We got to get moving here. None of these guys were doing that. Everybody, and then now at the end of the season, everybody wants to feel bad for them. They want to give sly remarks to reporters saying, "Oh, where's Nick going? Nick's still the head coach. What are you talking about? You're a clown." No, dude, you guys are the clowns. You are the clowns out there on the field that got embarrassed week after week after week at the end of the season. And you're the reason why Nick is on the hot seat. Why a lot of these players are on the hot seat is because of the leadership at the top did not get it turned around. I don't feel bad for those guys. I love those guys, but they're at the top of the reasons why this demise happened.
So I think that was very well said, spoken like a true man in pain, some would say. Um, but my takeaway from it, man, is more than the coaching.
Uh,
I think that it can be wrapped up in this phrase. We saw it earlier in the season. The Eagles did not know how to control their emotions. I mean, dude, you saw
They
time,
had no emotions.
and the times that they did, they weren't in check. Um, I think that what's so interesting is that you went from being this team, right? We look back, we flash back to last season. Jalen's proven everybody wrong. He gets then paid this offseason, but before that, he goes to the Super Bowl. You lose because of a call, frankly, because of a referee call that proves to be a last scoring drive, but they're there. And my question to you is, what led them to losing to Dallas? What leads them to go, like, what takes those guys that have been in those big moments? The Eagles are the team. I always use the phrase, act like you've been there before, know how to do it. You know what I mean? Act like you've been there before. The Eagles have done it before. How do you lose that mojo?
And a lot of that has to do with when they were 10-1, they were winning close football games. They were ugly football games. And everybody, you had that feeling where like, we're winning, but
Mhm.
we got to clean this and this and this up, right?
Mhm.
And everybody, even when I'm confident throughout the year, I'm saying that the whole time.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
not like not noticing that at all. That yeah, there was issues, but to go from those games were ugly, but they weren't what we just watched for the last month and a half.
Yeah.
They were two totally different types of ugly. The one was okay, fine. It was a gritted out. Our leadership got it done. Jalen Hurts got it done. Overcame coaching at times and were able to prevail. And then you just stopped. Coaching might not have put you in the right positions to get the job done. I 100% see that if you watch every single game. They were not in the best positions possible. But why couldn't they run the football anymore? Why didn't anybody why Jalen Hurts makes all these checks at the line, right? Why doesn't he check into a slant route? Why doesn't he check into a post? Like we want to come up with these excuses of what they're doing, this and that, but they have control on the field to get things done, and they just seemed like they stopped. Nobody grabbed each other in the face mask and looked them in the eyes like an Ed Reed and a Brian
Yeah.
Dawkins and said,
Yeah.
"Wake the f up." Nobody did that. Jason
Dude.
Kelsey's yelling and laughing at other defenders' face in the beginning of the year. Why don't you look at the guy to the left and right of you and say, "Let's go.
Yeah.
We got to get this.
Yeah.
We got to get this team in the right direction." And nobody did it. Maybe they did it in the locker room, but honestly, the body language when they were in the
It's
locker
horrible.
room was not it.
It's horrible. Yeah, dude. And like, I think about, if you're watching the Manning cast for that game, dude, they had Ray Lewis on, and Ray Lewis kind of summed it up, dude. And I think it comes down to this was based on fundamental football, especially this loss to Tampa Bay. Dude, how do you miss tackles? How are you arm tackling guys? Like, they were tackling the way that I would freshman and sophomore year in rugby, dude. They're like this. They're like this. They're not putting a shoulder on a guy. They're not leading even with a helmet. They're not looking to do any sort of damage, dude. I mean, you guys dude, if Tampa Bay could have caught the ball in the first quarter, they would have blown you out, had 30 points in the first quarter, dude,
Yeah.
because your team did not want to put guys on the ground. And that to me is so unlike the Eagles, because the Eagles are this hard nose, put you on your ass, show you who you are. This is Philadelphia. Feel the city, feel the fan base, feel us. And that to me was kind of where I knew right away, okay, this game is going down the drain. When I saw that your defense, who had been kind of your issue since about week 12, but would not make a single tackle, it's like, bro, what's going on? And you're right. It comes from that veteran leadership. You need guys like Cox, Graham, those defensive guys,
You need the
Sweat,
head coach to step up and do
Sirianni.
something here.
Exactly. Get
Like,
something
and it
done.
just it wasn't. It just was not happening. Everybody looked dumbfounded. Like, oh, we'll get to the playoffs and we'll be good. Well, you got to the playoffs. You were not good. We're not
Sucks.
good at all. And we'll get to it later, but you had people thinking, okay, maybe we can flip the switch. We've seen it done, but man, and our owner's down in his yacht in Cabo right now. After the game, he went from Tampa to Cabo. Like, what are we doing? You got decisions that need to be made, conversations that need to be had. Obviously, at the top, it trickled down. We'll fix it later. You know, that's how it was this year.
Yeah.
Like, it was
Acting as incompetent as Jerry Jones.
yeah.
And that ain't the Eagle
And I
way.
like Jeffrey Lurie. And people like I don't know. He's a good owner, but what are
Is
we doing
Sirianni
right
out
now?
in your eyes? Do you want him out?
Who, Sirianni?
Yeah.
I've been
Right
going
now,
back
you're
and
making the
forth.
call. You make the call. Yes or no?
If I can get like, if I can get a Bieniemy and another defensive coordinator in here, then no, I'll keep Sirianni. But then people are going to be like, well, if you need these guys to call plays for him, why not just get a guy that can do it himself? I don't disagree with that. Um, I just think it's crazy to get rid of somebody after a bad 2 months, even though it was probably almost the worst 2 months in the history of the NFL. But you look at Miami. Miami had a very, very similar collapse.
Oh
They
my
lost
God.
the division. They won out in the first round.
1-5
Same
with teams
exact.
over 500. 1-5.
Same exact. The
Yep.
Jaguars. Now these are different franchises, right? But and different expectations. But those guys, they aren't looking to blow it up.
No.
McDaniels and Doug are still going to be there. Hell, what did either of those franchise do in the past 5 years with these guys or any of those players? Nothing. This Eagles team has won football games.
The
They
Eagles
have
season won the
gotten the
Super Bowl.
job done. They almost won the Super Bowl.
2 and 5
So
years. 2 and 5
yeah.
years.
So that's why I think it's just the way the city is we want to move on so quickly on
Yeah.
things. I mean, hell, you saw it with Doug. I just don't think that this is a similar situation. Now, are we gonna be stuck in the same old next year with this happening again with Sirianni? I need to hear more from him to give confidence. At least not to me, but to look at people and say, my players, I have my players back, they have mine. And some of them have, in these posts, these pressers the last couple of days having his back and say, what are you talking about? Nick's not going anywhere. He's the coach of this team. Like, but I just don't, I just feel like these, it's just not there right now. And it starts with the
Yeah.
quarterback.
But the difference is that I think that when you talk about it starts with the quarterback, I think that Jalen has said the right thing. I mean, dude, we're talking about a guy, right?
He's barely so like
But that's what he's
all
supposed to
Jalen
do.
has to say is, yeah, Nick's our coach. What do you mean?
But that
Like,
is what he said. I didn't know he
eh,
was going
he
anywhere.
did, yeah, but I don't know.
I think that Jalen doesn't want to give. I think that Jalen's a guy. We've talked about this. I've made this point. He's not even my QB. He's few, far, and in between. He's of the cloth. I always like to say of a guy like Patrick Mahomes. And I think that Jalen just doesn't like to waste time giving any sort of breath to even piping things down. I think he takes the New
I
England.
don't disagree with that.
I
Yeah.
think he takes the New England tactic, which the New England tactic was,
Oh, Alabama. I mean, he's
yeah, straight up. Like I've heard, yeah. But that's the thing. That Crimson Tide is in his blood. He operates a certain way. So no, it's like it's on next week. It's on to
yeah.
Cincinnati. It's on to Dallas. It's on to New York.
I'm not saying get rid of Jalen by any stretch of the means. Jalen Hurts is our quarterback no matter what. I
Absolutely,
mean, I think people are
absolutely.
crazy saying that he can't read a defense, he can't do that, he can't throw the ball like a Jordan Love or anything like that. We've seen him do it. We've seen him do it
Dumbest thing
this
I've ever
year.
heard.
He
Dumbest
he
thing I've ever heard.
yeah, trust me, dude. I was sitting on the phones and listening to people call in what they want to talk about. I'm just like, what are we doing right now, guys? Like,
Do you get
we
to deny
cannot
any of
be
them?
serious.
Do you
What?
get to deny any of them?
Yeah, oh yeah, I did. I hang up on people all the time. Like, because if I think it's freaking stupid, or if I don't think it's gonna be good radio, what's the point of putting it through? It makes me look bad,
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah,
my job. Like, so I
100%.
listen to some of the dumbest people in the world, sports talk callers, and oh my god,
There's nothing. Is there anything that's better and worse at the same time than a regular caller into a sports station who's not a featured guest?
oh yeah. No, it's great.
Someone
You,
who,
you get a good one. Like we got Uncle Frank. Uncle Frank's great. I mean, they just had a big thing at the other station. Chuck from Mount Airy. He was kept getting cut off by the host, who I think sucks. But like, and he told him to shut the fuck up on air, like straight up to it. He's like, shut the fuck up, Jack, and absolutely bodied him. And everybody's just like, dude, how can Jack come back into work after that? Like, he just got absolutely demolished
caller?
by a caller. Like,
Ridiculous. All right. We talked enough Philly Eagles demise. Let's move on to the next part of the show. And that's the fundamental football that's going to lead the Ravens to an AFC championship.
Hold
And
up. Eagles will be fine next year. They'll be competing for the division. They'll be competing for a
absolutely.
top spot. They need to add depth is what they need. Because you have that secondary is banged up with the young guys that you had with Blankenship and Sidney Brown both out. Brown for probably the whole next year. Slay and Bradbury are just hosts and they're old. Big cap hits. That was a huge mistake by Howie. But it's gonna come down to Howie right now. People have confidence, some don't, some do. They'll be fine if they just had a coach, right? One or two things
Yep.
to get it done this year. It would have been done.
Yep.
They'll be fine. I don't think you fire Nick though. I don't know.
No, I
I
mean,
wouldn't be
well,
surprised if it happened.
we'll get into that a little bit later because that might be kind of where we're
Just
at.
because of the guys that are out there. That's the only reason we're talking about this.
You got guys like Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick, two proven guys with
Vrabel, like,
multiple Super Bowls, have
yeah,
won them. A guy in Pete Carroll who's won not only at the NFL level, at the college level, has been to back-to-back Super Bowls, has had every year, year in and year out, sub 500. Dude, you got a guy. I mean, let's be honest here, dude. I'm going to say it right now. You got another coach in Pennsylvania that might be getting run out of my division, and I would love that. And I'm
oh,
telling you right now, you put that guy in that Philadelphia organization when your problem is your defense. If you had Mike effing Tomlin
that's a leader.
as your head, that's a leader. That's a guy who makes everybody takes responsibility.
Yeah,
That's a guy who gets everybody's crap. We're not going to use cuss words on this show. We've been going clean for a few months now, giving up the cigarettes, but he gets everybody in order, dude. I mean, you're talking about a Super Bowl winning head coach. You're talking about 11 seasons going on above 500. You're talking about a guy who hasn't had a top draft pick because he's never been bad enough to get one. You're talking about a guy who makes you competitive. So the thing that's the issue is, to the point where, to end this off, and we're going to get into it at the end of the show again, but you're right. There's some real deal uh, uh, there's some real deal guys that can fill that head coaching position if Howie decides to let it ride and let
that's
it
the
go.
only reason why. That's the only reason
Because
why
Nick,
that's
if
been talked
Nick,
about.
let me ask you a question real quick before we go to the end of the show. If Nick was let go, would he get a head coaching job somewhere
It's a
else?
great question. I would say just based off of his wins alone, yes.
Okay.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't Carolina take him or like
Sure.
these bad teams?
Or
Like
in
you saw,
Atlanta. Or
yeah,
Saint.
you've seen him win football games.
He's gotten
Now,
two.
was it all on him? I don't know. It's what we saw this year, but I think him alone, the way he's kind of grown until this very end, he's a decent head coach. He's a good head
Yeah,
coach.
absolutely is. He's a
Yeah.
good head coach.
He's
Yes.
way better than a lot of these other young guys that are being thrown around right now.
And
Because you've seen him. You've seen him do it
he's in one of the most competitive divisions in all of
in
football.
one of the most competitive markets. You know,
Absolutely.
you
Absolutely.
saw the way he aged over the last 6 weeks of the season, where everything was sunshine and rainbows. He's having his kids up on the pressers and everything, and then now he's getting gray. He looks like a president at the end of his term.
I
Like,
was just Sydney looks like a president at the end of his term, dog. Okay. We're talking Raven now. We're going to talk depth chart. We're going to talk weather. And this ain't no big cat giving you the weather, girl. I got the radar pulled up right here, bro. If I could share screen right now, I'd be showing you the Baltimore radar right now. It is going to be a cold, cold, cold day in Baltimore this weekend. It's going to be horrible. But let's talk about, what do the Ravens have going on right now? Well, as of almost a week ago, Mark Andrews was taken off of injury. He's now on
oh,
IR.
oh yeah, is he back?
He's
Is he
been getting
coming
ready.
back?
Dude, he's ready. He's ready to suit up this week.
Really?
Now, oh, 100%, dude. He's making leaping
That's what
catches
I
that
figured was gonna happen.
yeah, we said this. I
Mm,
mean, I think that he was probably ready to go for that Ravens game. I think the reason why they technically didn't play him is because of how bad that weather was. And so they
mm.
didn't release that he was ready to go. Um, But let's talk about, I mean, the first thing before I get into Mark Andrews, dude.
Do
No,
you
let's
think
stick on.
CJ Stroud gets affected by that weather? He played at Ohio State for 3, 4 years.
No, I don't think that at all, dude. It's funny you bring that up. I don't think it has anything to do with CJ Stroud. I think that the Ravens are about to prove why we have the greatest offensive line that our organization has ever had in its entirety. And I think they're about to prove why they're the greatest offensive line right now in the National Football League.
Hmm.
We are going to dominate in the trenches and feed Gus, feed Cook, and feed Justice the whole time. That's all this game is going to be. It is going to be fundamental, run it down your throat football. There's going to be no inside. The guy who might get the biggest taste all game long on the receiver side is likely, if that. I think that what we're going to do the whole time is we are going to make those 11 men line up against ours, and we're just going to push them. We're going to do exactly what you guys did to get yourself to a Super Bowl last year, where we're going to roll up on you with our boys and we are going to push, push, push. Mind you, we don't got a guy like Mitchell anymore, our breakout stud. I think this is a big reason why we brought Cook in, right? The Jets release him.
Oh, I
Ravens
forgot.
say,
I forgot.
right.
Yeah.
And mind you, dude, you go back to the show, you look back, when he was getting released from the Vikings, I said to you that I wanted us to pick him up. This was before the Odell Beckham Jr. signed. I hated that we didn't get him. I love his potential here on the Ravens because what is he built for? He's like that Cook character, or Cook. Cook is like that Mitchell character where he can have these sporadic breakout runs when the offensive line is leading the charge and getting it done. He can have a 30, 40-yard position where he takes you not only just into field goal position, but now you're looking to punch it through. And again, I think we're still yet to see Lamar Jackson's best football. Um, but dude, I think that when you look at the way that our defense has come, I talked about the offensive line. Now I got to talk about the defense because I think without a doubt, the two things are the most clear after the San Francisco 49er game and everything that's preceded it, especially that dominating win over Miami. Besides having the most valuable player under center and in the National Football League, without a doubt, we've got the greatest defense right now in the NFL. And we've proven that when you turn the ball over to us, it either results in 7 by the D or Lamar sets it up and we get the play done by Todd Monken. I think CJ is going to have a hard time. He hasn't played this level of talent. I think that D'Amico Ryans and CJ Stroud are going to be a living nightmare for the next 7 years for Trevor Lawrence and Dougie P. I'll tell you what, man. I think that CJ Stroud um I think that CJ Stroud and D'Amico Ryans might force Trevor Lawrence to have to go to a better team to win a Super Bowl. Because I actually think that he might be better than Trevor Lawrence. And I think that D'Amico Ryans, he hasn't gotten to a Super Bowl yet or won one the way that Dougie P has, but he's absolutely got the potential to be a better head coach than Dougie P. They've got the potential to run that division, especially with how weak it is outside of
I
the
mean,
Jets.
the Colts. The Colts. You got Richardson and
And
maybe
I love
potential
Richardson, but
maybe potential coach of the year up there in Shane Steichen. So I mean, there that division got deep quickly over the
it's
last couple of
it's
years.
gotten deep quickly. But I'm going to tell you, dude, I think that Houston's got a lock on because I think that Stroud is the best
No,
quarterback
for
in
sure.
that
No,
division.
I agree with you there.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. No, overnight it became a nightmare for that team in Jacksonville. But let's stick on the Ravens here in fundamental football. You're talking cold weather. You're talking 15 degrees on field and a 20-degree wind chill, dog.
Yeah, you're talking about going to the game. I'm like, I don't know, man. Not my team.
Exactly.
Like, I don't feel
Exactly,
like
bro.
fucking,
You're
hanging out.
talking about going to a game where if you don't walk in with a minimum of 15 chicken wings in your belly, why did you even step foot in the
Some
stadium?
chili, just to keep you warm,
Without a
everything.
doubt. You're talking about if anybody showed up with anything less than Tostitos toasted lime, why did you even show up to the tailgate? And without a doubt, the only cold alcoholic beverage that's being served at the tailgate, it's not Miller Lite, it's not even Coors with the Mountain. Look at me, Trill. We know what it is. It's Jaeger bombs and nothing else.
Straight vodka, heavy liquor, Jaeger.
Heavy. We go clear here, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing 75 hard in our minds.
Mm.
The point is, I'm thinking about starting that. Are we going to do the cold 175 hard?
What do you mean?
Just what I said.
I say that again. Cold 175 hard.
We give up liquor. I'm already there with you. You
Uh,
pick what else I got to give up.
uh,
And it's two. You got to read 10 pages a day of a self help book, something that teaches you to be a better person and whatever you want. Yeah, you
probably
got to
do.
read. You got to read. And
Yeah,
you got to do
hey, yeah,
two.
actually, I have been reading lately. You
Let's
know,
see it.
I've gotten back into the Percy Jackson books. They got the TV show on Disney now, and I was just like, damn, I love those books. So I went upstairs, went into the closet, and me and my two brothers, all of us have been reading them. So it's been fun. It's been fun dabbling back into a little edumacation, you know?
I went educational here. Make Your Bed. Great book. Written by Seal, Texas. UT wrote it. So two different minds here, if you couldn't tell. But
Yeah.
that's all, ladies and gents. Okay, let's get back to it. We might do the 75 hard. We'll release that. We'll bring you through our daily. Dude, that would be a good way to get followers. Okay. Let us know in the comments if you want us to do 75 hard. We're down. We'll lose a few LBs. We'll be better men. It'll be good. Okay. Let me wrap up here. My depth chart, what makes the Ravens the Ravens. We're gonna absolutely roll, demolish, destroy. I love the knot. The knot, we're absolutely gonna cover the 9.5. I don't care how big that line is. You know I hate big lines. It's the Ravens. It's our year. I'm going to tell you right now, if I didn't have rent going on right now, truly, I wouldn't be debating this. I'm going to say this live on show. I didn't tell you this in the pre-show. I'm heavily debating doing my biggest bet of all time on the Ravens' future to win the Super Bowl.
I don't hate it.
I'm talking 500 large.
I don't hate it.
500 wins you 1370.
That's rent.
That is fucking rent.
Hey, babe, we need these bad boys to win, and we're good.
Yes.
For February, we're good.
We're good for 31 days. 28. We're good for 28 days and change. I got to find out on short.
Kind of crazy. Shouldn't they cut back on three?
The
month of February, shouldn't they have to cut back like at least a little bit, like rebate it?
Well, and every day, like outside of a day that you get 31 days, shouldn't we get like maybe a day off, like $50 back?
Yeah, no, like I feel like what an extra two, that's substantial right there. You know,
that's $100 each.
Yeah, easy.
Easy.
Yeah, just for that month.
Let's talk depth chart. I know John Harbaugh, if Mark Andrews comes to him and says, Coach, I want to play, he's going to let him play. If I was calling the shots, Mark Andrews.
Take a break here. So you got these
I don't know what's going on. I'm like, every other second, show me what I'm doing. Show me.
What?
Like, every other second, Doc. We're clipping that. Me doing it, then you going, can we take a break here, bro?
All right, we're taking a break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it actually only took about a minute or so. So
Yeah.
that might be a new world record right there.
For us, it is, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, to wrap up, if Mark Andrews says he wants to play, John Harbaugh's going to let him play. If it was up to Harry Heaps, a.k.a. Hollywood Hair, he would tell him to sit down, shut up, and wait to the AFC chip. Likely's come alive. He's the man, the myth, the legend. He's staying as a Baltimore Raven. This is a run down your throat Texans type of game. You know, after Roquan got his first interception of the year, he's looking for another one as well. I can't stop hiccuping. Kyle Hamilton's got to bring something to the house. Boys, I love this game. I love the Ravens minus the 9.5. I can't believe that we got I cannot believe that we again got the number one seed in the AFC this early. I've never seen a guy improve more after getting paid than Lamar Jackson. So I don't know what else to say, but dude, this is a Ravens podcast. Ravens are winning the Super Bowl.
Hockey podcast, actually.
Ravens podcast. The Ravens podcast. I'm wearing Tyler Linderbaum come this Saturday. The wife is wearing number 9. You got to give it up. You know we do. Keep it in the family. We're both wearing purple. The question is, what do I wear for the AFC chip? Because I'm telling you right now, if I go with somebody, I might be going to that game, bro. How much, if the Eagles were in it, how much would you be willing to drop to go?
I mean, it would be over. It would be
300,
over $1,000 to get in.
you think?
Oh yeah, I got in for free last year, which was sick.
You did get in for free.
Yeah, one of the best days of my life. That was awesome. Shout out Robbie. But yeah, easy. It would be $1,000 to get in, easily.
Think I'm going to drop a G?
I don't know Baltimore. What are the ticket prices? I'm just saying, like Philly prices are ridiculous. Like it's insane. I'm guessing probably $500-600.
Because I want to watch, and I want to watch it in good seats. So you
Yeah.
can buy $1,000.
What the Ravens are Saturday, right?
Saturday, 4:30 kickoff in
Should I come
Baltimore.
to the new apartment and watch?
You're more than welcome.
We'll have to talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about it. Interesting. That'd be fun.
It would be. Now let's get into the next game. Let's flash back to the past. What I think is very, very likely to happen. And we're going off script here before we hit the Am I Dumb? I want to talk about it, man. I want to talk about a team that I think is truly going to have the ability to make an upset here. I want to make sure that I'm talking about the right one. And I am later that night.
What?
Are we here? What am I thinking?
Niners?
Hold on, I know I'm dragging it on. I think that the Green Bay Packers absolutely have a chance of making the NFC Championship, without a doubt. I think that the 49ers are frauds through and through, as we've seen. I think that they're completely fake. I think that everybody knows that they're fake. And I think that Green Bay right now is playing off of what I usually say, act like you've been there before. Dude, they're just out there having fun. This is the second youngest NFL roster to ever go to the playoffs and the youngest ever to win a playoff game. They are rocking out with their cocks out. They don't care. They're doing their thing. They're doing what they want to do. They're being led by Jordan Love. And let's just talk about it. The Green Bay Packers are the gold standard for drafting and developing the most important position in all of football, and frankly, probably in all of sports, which is the quarterback. You draft and hit on Brett Favre. You draft and let Aaron Rodgers sit, and you hit on him, win a Super Bowl, make 2 other NFC Championship appearances. And now you draft Jordan Love, let him sit behind Aaron Rodgers. You're thinking about getting a new quarterback in October, and he beats Dallas in Dallas. Handily. This Green Bay team, dude, is the definition of dangerous. They're dangerous, dude.
I was happy that they beat Dallas. You know, everybody was go pack go. But now I'm like, yeah, screw those guys. You know, like they have it too good.
Yeah.
Green Bay has it too freaking good
Way
now.
too good.
Now I want them to have it too good for one more week, and then they can go suck it after that. But like, it would be nice for them to go and take care of business against San Fran, just to see all the top seeds in the NFC just lose their first playoff game. That'd be insane. We've been talking about the Cowboys, Eagles, Niners all year long. How they were probably the top teams, and if all 3 of them lose in their first playoff games, that'd be insane.
That'd be crazy.
It'd be nice. It would be nice at this point.
Can you imagine an in-division Detroit, Green Bay, NFC Championship, and Aaron Rodgers isn't a part of it?
Yeah. Well, you know, Rodgers would beat Detroit too.
Oh, 100%. Well, he did it last time.
He didn't his last game. You're right. You're right.
He hit it with the Aloha and he walked out.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
So I want to ask you before we get to the Am I Dumb, unless you got another game that you want to touch on. But I mean, I guess we can break down each game here. We kind of just gave our overview of Green Bay, San Francisco,
That
Kansas City,
if
Kansas,
Green Bay can run the football like they did with Aaron
it's over.
Jones,
It's
it
over.
it would be good. It would be really good for
It's
them.
over.
Yeah.
It's over. If they can do it, it's over. And not only that, dude. I mean, clearly we know that Green Bay's defense is going to let up points. Look at what Dak was able to do going towards the end. They were catching
They got to get after Purdy. If you can get after him
quickly
and
because yeah,
and then you keep the ball out of his hands, they can get it. They got to do those two things though. If they can't, it's
that's
gonna be a long night.
that's the difference because San Francisco is not going to have a case of the drops the way that Dallas did. When
Mhm.
they catch the ball, they make you pay. They make you pay. And Green Bay has proven we'll let you score. We'll let you walk through the front door. So I agree. I want to ask you, Casey's on the road. Casey's on the road to Buffalo. I know, dude.
First
It's
time in
driving
the
me
road in
crazy.
forever for KC.
And I could not love them more than right now.
Yeah, and everybody's high on the Bills. The Bills have been hot. The Bills just seem like they still haven't quite found it, but neither have the Chiefs. And that's what makes both teams very dangerous, where I can see Mahomes go out there and just rip that defense to shreds.
Dude,
Him and
shred.
Kelsey get going. And all of a sudden Kadarius Tony has another another arc of where he sucks, and then he's killing the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and then he can go from killing killing the Bills in the AFC playoffs here. I don't know. It's probably going to be the best game. Wouldn't it be funny?
Without a
It
doubt. I don't know, dude. With the way that the weather's been in Buffalo, I think that this Tampa Detroit game is going to be the best game.
Yeah, well, but the KC just played in negative 20 degrees too. So like
Yeah,
I don't think that weather really plays that big of effect with these two teams as it would others, you know?
I agree with that, except that Josh Allen ain't having a 40-yard run for a touchdown against this KC
No,
defense.
no, not at all. Do you think that was a fake slide that he did, a Kenny Pickett fake slide? I saw a lot of people talking about that.
No, I think that he legitimately just faked out the D so much that again they had a case of the Eagles. They did the
Oh,
Patriots.
relax.
No offense, but Pittsburgh did not want to make tackles, dog.
No, they didn't. They did not.
They did not want to make. I mean, how do you not put him down? He split you,
Yeah. And the way his giddy up after that too, his acceleration was
which was
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah. Like I can get moving, but once I slow down, I'm not getting back going again. But the way he was moving, little skirt, and then he just took off top speed
Yeah,
again. It's crazy.
yeah,
He looked like a running
crazy,
back. It was wild.
crazy.
Yeah, that'll probably be the best game of the week. But if that game goes to overtime and the Bills get the ball first, score a touchdown. Kansas City gets the ball, goes down, scores a touchdown, 2-point conversion at the Bills and win it. After the Bills did that whole petition where both teams get the ball in overtime for it to come back and bite them in the ass again here. Well, that would be something crazy that the script writers probably have written up.
I mean, I want to say something, and I'm kind of already preordaining it. I've been kind of a Josh Allen put downer, even though I think he's a badass dude. Don't get me wrong, but I do want to say something. If Josh Allen loses this game, are people ever going to start disrespecting him the way that they disrespect Lamar?
If he
Because
loses this game,
he loses this game in the postseason.
people disrespect Josh Allen all the time.
People in every day, as soon as he gets hot, oh,
Then they're all over him. I
he's
agree
the
with that.
best. They're all
Yeah.
over him. They want him to win. They want everything. The dude hasn't done anything. Last year, he got wiped at home clean by Cincinnati. The year before that, he lost in the second round. The year before that, he lost in the AFC Championship. If he loses again at home, are people going to start disrespecting him the way that they've been disrespecting my quarterback? Because all the whole narrative that I'm hearing right now is, does Lamar Jackson have to win the Super Bowl to change his history? No, he doesn't. He just has to make it to one. Now, I believe he's going to win, but he doesn't have to win it to change anything. Josh Allen's never even sniffed the Super Bowl. and people want to act like that he walks on water.
Neither has Lamar.
I don't disagree, but people already put down Lamar.
Yeah,
People
I
act
got
like Lamar. Look, if Lamar loses, it's over for his career. Josh Allen gets hot in the regular season. Josh Allen hasn't won the MVP. Josh Allen has never had the Bills be first place,
probably 2-time MVP.
probably two-time MVP. Josh Allen's never led the Bills to be the number one seed in the AFC the way that Lamar has twice. They've got similar records, and yet this kid gets all this love. So my question to you is here, as coming from you saying that I love the Chiefs here, if the Bills lose once again at home in their own weather, at home, when is Josh Allen going to start feeling the actual heat that he deserves?
I think the biggest thing here is it is at home this time where you have been playing the Chiefs on the road. And
Right.
if Josh Allen goes out and has an ugly 3-4 pick game and the offense looks miserable and you're like, what is he doing? He isn't a gunslinger. He's just making stupid mistakes. But if he goes out and throws for 300 yards, duels with Patrick Mahomes, and loses a close one on the last drive, then everybody's going to say, well, it's like the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady effect. Peyton Manning's just losing to Tom Brady. Like, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
He just can't get over that hump. Now it's got to be a back and forth game for that to keep going, where nobody's going to speak down on Josh. But if he goes out there and he plays like he was at the beginning of the season, even a little bit during their hot streak, a little bit where their defense kind of bailed him out a little bit. If he does that and it's ugly, then people are going to start going after him for sure. And if they don't, it'd be crazy.
I want to make clear in this position, the Bills cannot win despite Josh Allen. They must win because of him.
I agree. Yeah.
They cannot beat the Chiefs despite him. If he
Mhm.
makes mistakes, Patrick Mahomes will make them pay.
Yep, I agree.
Okay. Last game to end off before Am I Dumb? What does it feel right now to be Jared Goff in that city, dude?
Oh, he's on top of the world. I mean, him and Dan Campbell, you know,
He
they've been
handled that win with such grace. With such grace, dude.
their fans didn't though.
Their fans didn't, but he walked up to everyone and shook every player's hand. Now, don't get me wrong, he can't go and say, hey, you should have never traded me because they traded him and they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. But he went up to every dude in that organization and showed love.
Yeah. You're catching them. You're catching them a couple years after all this went down, though, is the thing.
Yeah.
That team was down. Let's not act like Jared Goff had a great couple years after he left there either. So that's where I'm kind of a little like, come on now, people. I love the story. I love Jared Goff. I think he's a great player. I think he's a good dude for the most part. And he's been out there grinding. We can't act like he's a world beater that after he got traded, he deserved all this praise. He's battled back and gotten to the point where he can lead this football team, but they've built up a lot of talent around them, which he needs to succeed, what he wasn't able to do with the Rams. I mean, you saw it. He had all this talent around him, and they put up what, 9 points in the Super Bowl? Or not even?
Yeah,
3
literally.
points.
Yeah, they played a soccer game. All right, so let's play a game real quick. Jared Goff or Jimmy G?
Oh, Jared Goff.
Okay.
Jared Goff's a top 10 quarterback. I'm not saying he isn't.
Jared Goff or Kirk Cousins?
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff or Dak?
Jared Goff has won playoff games, so Jared Goff.
Jared Goff or Tua?
Jared Goff.
Okay, so if you're taking Jared Goff over Tua,
I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. I'm not saying that at all.
He's there.
Yeah, he can get this done and he can finally get it going. But I'm just saying the past couple years, this whole love-hate thing that's been going on, that they moved on from him, and that he should have that chip on his shoulder. But you can't look and be like, I'm better than them. Yeah, their whole team, they went all out for those couple years, and they proved him wrong. That we didn't need you. If Matt Stafford was on this Detroit team and he was on that Rams team's not making the playoffs. They aren't.
Last question. Right now, out of the NFC teams, who's the best quarterback playing? There's 4 teams playing this weekend.
Who's the NFC?
Yes. Who's the best NFC quarterback left?
Huh?
Purdy, Love, Baker.
Yeah. It's golf, just experience wise.
Yep.
I mean, Love's got the highest ceiling for sure to be that next superstar quarterback.
Purdy's got the most talent
No, Love's got the
around
most
him.
talent
Around him.
around him. Yeah, yeah. And Baker's got the moxie and the swag to get it done.
Yep.
So, but that can only
Everything
get you
Johnny
so far.
Manziel was supposed to be, baby.
Yeah. Oh, I like Baker. I just yeah, the way that went down this weekend was rough.
He
But
stomped you out.
it is what it is.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the
I'm
next
not hating on the Lions, but your fans aren't as lovey-dovey as people are giving you out to be. You guys booed a guy that did everything for you. I'm all about booing. I'm not saying I'm not, but people should start to harp on that bullshit. Keep that same energy with other cities, all right? If they're
I agree.
going at a guy and his family, that I'm all about peace and love outside, or, but when it becomes between the lines, everything's fair game.
Everything's fair game.
But it wasn't outside of it. You can't boo the guy out the gate there.
Why did they do
You
that,
give
dude?
him a clap. Hey, thank you. And then once that game gets going, fuck you. You suck. This and everything.
But what I
And
don't
they didn't.
understand is all of the videos that they were showing on TV before were all the signs for love for Stafford.
Yeah, and then it is because it's not everybody. It's the few. It's the few dumbasses that give fan bases a bad look. It's people throwing popcorn on fucking your coach running out of the goddamn field after they got their ass kicked. And it's just same old Philly. Screw that. Keep that same energy with all these other crappy fan bases. This is BS, is all I'm saying. Hold other people accountable too.
You know what? Brendan and the bot in Hollywood for president 2024. Okay. The Am I Dumb segment of the show. It's back, ladies and gentlemen. We're bringing it back. We might have to make a graphic for this one. Alex, please forgive me. Philly drinkers, please forgive me before what I'm about to say. I should have a priest next to me. I'm giving confession. The Am I Dumb? So, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, I'm now in New Jersey. I've moved to a nice apartment. I'm not going to say the town. Trilly can know it. Can't let you guys know it. You might follow us. The point is, I packed up the night before. I don't really have much furniture to bring up. We bought some new furniture, but I pack up all my clothes, pack up all my valuables, my laptop, my gear for the podcast, everything else. And my last thing that I packed up was my Cold Ones cup. And I thought to myself, my Cold Ones cup is going to be fine if I put it between a few t-shirts and sweatshirts. Everything will be okay. I put it into
Uh-oh.
the car. I drove it up. Everything was fine.
Uh-oh.
And what does the Mrs. Mother do, soon to be the mother-in-law one day? She picks it up. She drops the bag and she hears, and she pulls it out. And what's hanging but the cup, like it had been beaten to death and was being held by the Cold Ones emblem. And I go, Miss G, the Cold Ones cup? She goes, Harry, you didn't wrap it. I go, I didn't have any problems with it. It survived getting up here. It died in your hands. She killed the Cold Ones cup. I got to buy a new Cold Ones cup. Cold Ones cup is gone.
I'd pour it out. You got to pour one out for the cup. Man. R.I.P. to the cup. But you can go to Cole Conversations and buy it using promo code Brendan Petrilli and save 10% off though. So you can do that.
You can. Can you top that? Can you top that?
That is sad.
That's our own gear.
That is bad. You can't let that happen. You didn't even put any like newspaper in it, inside
I didn't think I
of it.
needed to, dog. I put it in between the cushions. I was good to go. I put it away. I was soft with it. She got her hand on it first. She broke it. She broke it.
How didn't you put cushion in between the bottom of the bag and the thing too?
I did. That's the thing. I put it between. So
I can drop kick that bag or something. She's like, "Fuck this guy."
She tombstone power drived it, dog. I'm telling you, dog. This was an intentional attack. So am I the real one that was dumb or her?
You gotta do a better job at the end of the day.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
She didn't do a good job. You can't be dropping stuff.
But I didn't put her in a position for.
But you didn't put it in. She could have dropped it. You packed it well enough. It would have been fine. It would have been a ha. Wow, that was a close one. But
check for pulse, right?
Yeah. You can't go bad with the mother-in-law. You can't.
You can't hold her feet to the fire.
No, that just can't happen. Dumb though. Dumb move.
All right, hit me. You got one?
Oh yeah, I mean, mine's obvious. I mean,
Talk to us.
if you followed me, if you're following all of us, you follow Cold One Conversations, Twitter and Instagram. Follow Hollywood Hair and I, Brendan Petrilli, on all platforms. I posted a clip on the BSP podcast. Why the Eagles will win the Super Bowl. It's a great video. I really don't say how they do it because it was like a precursor, a tease to get you to go watch the episode of how they can actually do it. But I put it on Instagram, I put it on YouTube and Facebook and all, TikTok, like I do for everything. So make sure you follow us. But
Mm.
it goes off on Instagram. Off. 93,000 views, couple thousand, likes, 5,000 likes and comments out the ass. People roasting me and this and going back and forth at each other, just because I'm the idiot to believe in that football team. That
Yep.
team that gave you all the signs that they weren't going to be able to flip the switch. And it was pretty dumb. The content was great, though. It was great
Phenomenal.
content.
It
So,
was phenomenal. It took us where we needed to go. Dude, you killed it on that video, bro. It went crazy.
and then I post the ones reacting to it after, and it just didn't get the same pop. I don't get it. I don't get this whole algorithm stuff,
I
why
said,
that goes off. And is it because I threw Nick Foles at the very beginning? I don't know. I just don't get it.
we don't know.
Hashtags or this and that, but we're gonna keep trying to put out the best content here for you, and just make sure you follow us. And it's cool to see stuff finally pay off like that. It was very cool to see. But I'm dumb to believe in that stupid team.
Let's end it out, dude. The final, I should have tweeted this last week. Nick Saban leaves Alabama. The same week that Nick Saban leaves Alabama, Bill Belichick leaves out. Bill
It
Belichick
was
leaves,
like the day after each other.
and Harry Heaps leaves Maryland.
No.
Legends never die.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about it, baby.
Yeah. That's a good
Where
point.
is? Go
Why
ahead.
didn't Schefter report that too?
Yeah, I have no idea. It should have been the first thing on First Take. Where is Bill Belichick coaching next?
The
Let's give
Phil, no, I don't know. Probably it seems like the Falcons.
which makes, I mean, it makes sense why he would go to that division.
You got talent on offense and defense, but you need a quarterback. Now you can trade for one. You can draft one, but
His
is
backup.
Belichick? Yeah.
Do you know how well he would do with Bill Belichick?
Get out of here. No way he's playing a full 18-game season at this
Oh,
point.
come on, bro. If he gets that off season, he's popping another kid out for Joe.
Yeah.
For Joe. No,
Does
let's
Tom come
talk
back
about
for him?
where do we think he's actually going to go, and then where do we think he's going to end up, and then what would we do if we were him? I'll go first. Where do I think he's actually going to end up? If it's not Atlanta, Atlanta's out for this for both of us of where we think he's actually going to go. If it's not Atlanta, I mean, personally, this is going to sound crazy, but I would have said Dallas. They're keeping their guy. Makes no sense. Idiotic play. Um, listen, I could see him going. I could see him going to Arizona. That's the truth of the matter.
But I don't see them getting rid of Gannon at this point. I mean, I guess you would for Bill Belichick,
You would for
right?
Billy Bell. They got the personnel to get it done. That division's weak. Besides, well, no, it's not about to be weak. It's a real deal division, especially with the Rams on the come up now. Obviously, the 49ers being what they are. But you got the quarterback clearly. You're not moving off of him. The guy can still sling it. He came back from injury. He can play. Seems like he's committed. Their issue has been they got to keep points off the board, and their QB's got to stay healthy. I think their QB wants to stay healthy. I could see him going there. Now, where should he go? Well, Trilly, you say first where you think he's going to go, and then I'll say what I would do if I was him.
Oh, I think they're sticking with Antonio Pierce in Vegas, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say Vegas too.
Yeah,
Right.
but I don't think Vegas can afford him. They're
No.
already paying 2, 3 guys already still on top of this.
Get a big check.
So, yeah, that would have been a good fit.
Yeah, big time.
Dallas and Philly would have been a great fit.
Great fit.
But it seems like neither team are moving on. His options are dwindling at this point.
They
So,
are, man. I mean, you're not wrong,
I mean,
but they're also not. The question is, where does he want to go somewhere that's got a quarterback? Because if he wants to go somewhere with a quarterback, he's got options.
yeah, but a lot of these teams, they still have their head coaches, you know? I
Well,
mean,
why has everyone all of a sudden forgot about the Chargers?
I don't think Bill would go out that way. I heard Edelman talk about it a little bit on his podcast with when he had Brady on and stuff, where Bill's, big East Coast guy. He's been there for 20 plus years now, right? Even with Cleveland and everything else. That they don't see him leaving the East Coast at this point just for a couple years and uprooting everybody. He's got family, grandkids, the whole works. Where I just see that more being a hardball fit at this point, where he kind of Bill just wants to stay East Coast where he can compete and try to tie Brady again with the Super Bowls. Now that's what dwindles those options at this point.
I was having a conversation today, an hour-long phone call with one of the biggest Patriots fans I know, and he said that he does not believe that Bill is into the records. He said that that's not the Patriot way, and I said, I think you're completely wrong. I think
Bill's the
that
biggest historian of football there is.
I said to him, I said, there's a reason why the day after that press conference, did you see it? That the official quote came out from ESPN 2 weeks after Tom Brady won the Super Bowl. Kraft in an enclosed meeting said, and I quote to people close to him, Bill told me that Tom couldn't play anymore, and then he goes and wins the fucking Super Bowl. Bill needs to prove at this point, because here's the truth of the matter. I don't agree with this argument. There will never be another Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is the greatest coach of all time. I want to go on record by saying that. But I'm going to say this. With the way that these last 4 seasons have been, there's an argument for why Andy Reid could become the greatest coach of all time. There is. And unless,
Andy's got to
because
win,
Tom
keep
Brady
winning.
reset the standard when he went and won, he reset the standard of what greatest of all time is. He did it without Bill. Bill's been shambles since he left. So I think that Bill's got to go somewhere with a guy who can sling it.
You can go to Washington if you're into Hal, but then you also got the second overall pick. But do you bank on developing a guy? You know?
I think where Bill Belichick should go if the job is open, there's no question about it. They've got the quarterback. They've been to a Super Bowl. He's few, far, and in between. I said it earlier in the show, and their problem is defense. If the Philadelphia Eagles fire Nick Sirianni, Bill Belichick should be the next head coach of that team, and they will win a Super Bowl without a doubt. If
I
not,
think the only way that that happens is if he gets fired. If he gets fired, they're firing Nick for Bill Belichick, and that's the only reason I think. You know what I'm saying?
yes, like if they are letting him go, it's because there is literally something that is so much greater
Yes.
that's out there. Because I will say, I don't think that Pete Carroll does that over Nick Sirianni.
No.
Um, I mean, Jim does, but I don't think that Jim's going to Philly. Jim, like
No.
Philly's not a Jim town.
No. No.
If he wanted that, he'd stay in Michigan.
Mm-hmm. He would go to
But
Brown or not Browns, Bears. Try to
he
get
go to the Bears, right? If he wanted that down dirty grime of being a sports fan, he's going to the Bears. In the sense of like you guys live and breathe your ball. You live and breathe Philadelphia Eagle ball.
yeah.
The Bears are.
So do the Bears. I mean, I'm not
But no,
trying to.
that's what I'm saying. So do the Bears, except the difference is, dude, is I don't know if Jim's going to take that job with Justin Fields staying there. If that's the
No, but you'll get Caleb Williams.
right. But like, is the GM saying, "Listen, we're sticking with Fields," or he's absolutely going to? Well, let's stick with Bill here.
Yeah.
Talk about Bill. I think he should go to the Eagles. Where that's what you think too, right?
Yeah. I mean, obviously.
Obviously, but if he didn't, where else?
He should go to the Cowboys, but that's not going to happen, it seems like.
Why would Jerry do that with Bill being on the table?
I honestly don't know. Especially the way Jerry has been so proactive with his team to make very vast decisions and rash decisions that what he wouldn't have done this. He's done it before. He did it back in the 90s, and they won championships. That's how he knows how to win. But I think Jerry doesn't want to give up the control at this point.
I
He
think you're
wants
right.
he wants it to be this was my guy I brought in, they're my players, and I got my guy to coach my guys to a Super Bowl. And this was my Super Bowl. And then he will die. Like that's what he wants.
And
I
then
think
he died.
I think that's how he wants it to go down. With
Yeah.
Bill coming in and getting it done, it would be like what's Barcel coming in there or Jimmy Johnson coming in there and winning. And everybody thinks, oh, it was the coaching came in and got it done with all the talent. Nobody thinks it was Jerry Super Bowls. You brought in the veteran guys, they got it done. That's what it would be with Bill. It would be Bill going in there fixing this broken franchise for the last 3 decades now, and that hasn't been able to get over the hump, that are absolute chokers, a disgrace to everything in the sport of football. And Bill Belichick, the greatest coach of all time, comes in there and fixes them. And it's not Jerry Jones's ideas. And he doesn't want that. He wants that fat face McCarthy on the sidelines.
Good job. Good.
And he wants, so when they would, if they ever get close to sniffing one, be like, hey, that was my guy.
That was my
That,
guy. I
that
picked
was
him.
my guy. We got it done with my guys. Now I can die. All right.
That's crazy. Let's hit it. All right. Bill Belichick's going. I'm an idiot. Cold One's cup is deceased. R.I.P. Blow
Everybody
a
go
candle,
purchase.
light a candle. Blow a candle, light a candle. Ravens are winning the Super Bowl, and they're going to dominate that Texan butt. They're going to dominate it, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. We'll have clips coming out. Bet slips. Jude, are we doing a bet?
Yeah, let's throw them together.
Let's
Let's
do
do
it.
4.
All right.
I was looking at it earlier.
Let's
I
look up.
like what do you think of the over in the Ravens game? Or do you think they're gonna lean on them?
Let me look. Let me look.
It was 42 last I looked.
43.
Oh, it's
I go under. I would go under 43. I think it's Ravens all day. Texans don't score a point.
you think Green Bay, San Fran? I
I
don't
do.
like the spreads in any of these, honestly. Chiefs being an underdog. That's interesting. Patrick Mahomes as an underdog. Two and a
I'm
half.
going to tell you exactly what I like. This is my bet, and it's a crazy parlay, and it wins big. Under 43.5 Ravens, Green Bay to win outright money line. Detroit minus the 6.5. Kansas City outright win. 15 to win 540.
Let's take the points with Green Bay. I don't know about the win. 15 wins you 222. That'll get you closer to getting that AFC championship
That'll
ticket.
get you. What do you think about my under pick?
I don't hate it because it did go up from the last time I looked.
Yeah. Do
I
you
just
like
think both
Detroit?
offenses can score points, don't you think? But I do like the Ravens defense.
They can, but it's the Ravens defense this cold weather. They can't run the ball the way that we can.
Mm-hmm.
They got to put it over the top.
You're right.
You're not going to want to throw the ball in that weather. It's going to feel like a rock.
Mm. Yeah, I like the under.
Yeah. Do we like Detroit to cover that spread, though? That's my question.
I do, but Baker, I'm just waiting for the Lions to have a Lions moment.
That's a touchdown, bro. That's a lot of points.
What
I
do you
like
think of the
Baker to
over in
cover
that
more.
game? 48 and a half.
The over? It's in the
I
dome.
think points will be scored.
In the dome?
Yeah, in the dome. And
Over.
Yeah, I like that better.
KC to win.
KC to win.
15 to win, 213.
Yeah.
Done.
Lock it.
Lock it.
Done. All right,
Done.
maybe I'll come up there tomorrow.
All right, we'll talk.
We'll watch the game. Shout out everybody. Subscribe, follow us on everything. We're popping off here. You got to be a part of the ride. We're moving it here. We're getting another Super Bowl for the podcast. Shout out the Ravens, the Eagles, man, whatever. It is what it is.
Is what it is.
Peace.